Hola, ¿cómo está Las Vegas? And welcome to Chris Garcia, the Conservative American. And thank you so much for watching me. I've been getting your hits and your comments from all over the country. Thank you for making this the fastest growing conservative radio show on the web. Today's topic I would like to talk to you about is liberals give Donald Trump a chance. The man has not even become president yet. And the liberals and the left-wing media is doing everything that they possibly can to not give him a chance to be successful. I think it is disgraceful. Do you know that the liberal left-wing media said that the economy and that Wall Street was going to explode, was going to drop, was going to fall off of a cliff when Donald Trump became president? That was the fear. Do you remember, besides all of the racist white right-wing people that were supposed to take to the streets with their pitchforks and their Bibles, the economy was going to go into a tailspin. Wall Street was going to fall off of a cliff. Do you know what's happened? Actually, the liberals are the ones that are taking to the streets with their rocks, and they're starting fires and breaking out glasses in businesses and cannot accept the validity of the election. It seems to be the left-wing people. Do you know what's happening on Wall Street? The market has gone up every single day since he has been president-elect and has surpassed 19,500 since he became president of the United States. The market has gone up every single day. So it is amazing that all of the things, starting with, of course, he was supposed to lose, all of the things that the left-wing media tried to brainwash us to believe, all of those things are wrong. The market has gone up. He has brought back businesses and stopped them from leaving to other countries. So every prediction that they made was wrong. And actually, they were the ones that are taking to the streets and destroying properties, not the angry, racist people that we are. And with our pitchforks and our Bibles, it's not us, it's them. And I think they're doing every single thing in their power to not even give him a chance to be successful, because they are afraid that if he is successful, it sets back their left-wing agenda for years, and it totally destroys the legacy of their nut president, Barack Hussein Obama, their left-wing social president, Barack Obama. And so they want to do everything that they possibly can in their power to keep Donald Trump from being successful. And they're starting off before he even becomes officially the president of the United States as president. And that's why I believe that Donald Trump is beginning to work so hard. Even before he takes office, he has hit the ground running, and he is bringing back jobs. He is looking over any place in government contracts, starting with Boeing, where he can save the American people money. This is what he's done, and he's been president-elect for 4 weeks. The liberal left-wing media does not even want to give him a chance to be successful. And I'm so terrified for this country, because I think they're going to do everything in their power to not allow him to be a successful president. But I tell you this, Donald Trump is a strong man. Donald Trump does not give up, and he will fight back, and he will not take anything from this left-wing media and the New York Times and the Washington Post and the Chicago Sun-Times and these other left-wing media papers. He will take them to task. He will call them out, and he will make them tell the truth about his administration. I mean, he's hired generals on to some of the positions or appointed. They still have to be nominated, many of them. Generals, people that have served our country in the military, have sacrificed, have been away from their family for years. Do you know what it takes to become general in any military position, whether it be Army, Navy, Air Force, or Marines? You have to sacrifice so much of your life to your country. And yet they're complaining, and they're talking about he has too many of these people that are nominated for positions. That's just how nutty. But under the Obama administration today, if you didn't know and you didn't watch the news, they are offering coloring books to cadets that are feeling too much pressure being in the military. They're offering them coloring books. This is what the left-wing nuts, Barack Obama and Nancy Pelosi and Harry Reid, this is what they're going to make our military. They're going to make our military a bunch of soft people. Can you imagine if you need a coloring book as a cadet? What will you need as a soldier when you are actually fighting in combat? If you need a coloring book just to make it out of military school. It is absolutely unbelievable. And Donald Trump is going to toughen his country up. He's going to toughen his military up. He is going to hold people accountable at their positions. He's going to hold American businesses accountable at their positions. And if they are not willing to help the American people and stand up for the American people, then trust me, there will be repercussions. If you don't make America great and you don't make America first, then you will have to answer to him and his administration. It is totally unbelievable to me how these people won't even give him a chance to be successful. Yet they criticize Fox News and so many other conservative radio hosts like myself and other people. When we didn't fall down and worship at the ground of Barack Obama and give him all of the chances in the world and all of the support, we were called racist because we didn't agree with every one of his socialist issues that he wanted to put forth on the American people, like Obamacare. Didn't we say that that was a disaster 7 years ago? Didn't we say that that was one of the worst programs that was ever going to be? First of all, it was unconstitutional. That's number one. And he used the power of the bully pulpit. He used the presidential pen to push Obamacare through. It is an unlawful and unconstitutional form of health care. It is a socialist program. It does not work in the free market economy. It is an absolute disaster. But we were forced to accept Obamacare. And if we didn't, we were called racist. We were said that we weren't giving him a chance to succeed. Isn't that the pot calling the kettle black? Because they're doing everything they can to keep Donald Trump from being successful. So I warn you, though, he is not the kind of man that's going to be pushed around or bullied. He will fight back, and he will call you out, whether it's CNN or MSNBC or ABC or NBC News or CBS. Donald Trump will call you out. He will make you accountable for not treating him fairly and treating his administration fairly. So be careful. He is not a normal person that you will push around, and he is not afraid to tweet about you. And I hope he continues to tweet. People call on him not to tweet. I hope he continues to tweet and continues to call out people that treat him and his appointees and his administration unfairly. I hope he continues to tweet about it every day, because he needs to talk directly to the American people and hold these left-wing nuts accountable for not giving him a chance to make America great again. He had a couple of appointees that he appointed to his administration today. Scott Pruitt, who was the Oklahoma Attorney General, is going to be head of the EPA. And that's great, because he was totally against Obama and these nutty climate control people who think that the world is about to burn up and all the ice is about to fall into the ocean. So that's absolutely wonderful. These people led by Al Gore are just a bunch of nuts. And Scott Pruitt, who was totally against Obama's EPA administration and his system, Scott Pruitt is totally the opposite. And he thinks that climate change and all these nutty liberal issues that we pay billions of dollars to research that have absolutely no validity whatsoever. Scott Pruitt is totally the opposite, and he will get rid of these nutty social issues, starting with climate change, that Barack Obama and these other socialist nuts have tried to brainwash the American people into believing. And that is why a lot of companies have left the United States, because the EPA restrictions are so hard that the EPA restrictions are so hard that we cannot keep our companies here. That is what's so ridiculous. You know, there's such high EPA restrictions on these companies. I mean, if you burn a piece of coal, you know, you are fined so huge that you have to take your companies to Mexico or to some of these other countries just to pass EPA standards. So Scott Pruitt will go a long way to lowering EPA standards so we can keep a lot of these companies, these American companies, in the United States of America, and that will keep American jobs and that will help American taxpayers. So wonderful, wonderful appointment of Scott Pruitt. He was the Oklahoma Attorney General. And I just love it because every time he appoints something, I mean, you cut on MSNBC or CNN and liberals just go ape nut over every single appointment that he puts in his administration. So well done again, Donald Trump. He also appointed Vince McMahon's wife, Linda McMahon, who helped start the WWE in 2009 with her husband, Vince McMahon. And of course, they turned the WWE into a multi-billion-dollar wrestling conglomerate and, one of the largest entertainment companies in the entire world. The WWE, of course, was likes of Hulk Hogan and other wrestlers. And she is going to be head of the SBA, the Small Business Administration. So again, I love it because he continues to appoint generals. He continues to appoint successful business people. It's amazing. Again, you cut on these nutty left-wing channels and they continue to talk about how wealthy the people are that he is appointing in his administration. They continue to point out they're all billionaires. Well, you know what? Who wants to have unsuccessful poor people be head of some of your departments in your administration? Of course, you want to hire successful people. You want billionaires to be heading up departments in your administration. So that's why he is hiring these people, fellow billionaires, successful people like himself, because they know how to get things done and they have connections with other business people all over the world in different countries. So again, kudos to Donald Trump. Linda McMahon is going to be head of the SBA, Small Business Administration, and Scott Pruitt, head of EPA. Two wonderful appointments again. And continue to look for more generals, continue to look for more successful business people to be part of your administration. And we will continue to see the left-wing nuts, just go ape crazy over every single appointment that he does. Still out, the biggest appointment, of course, I believe, Secretary of State. I think he's brought in the head of ExxonMobil, is now into the mix to become Secretary of State. Supposedly this man got along very well with Vladimir Putin, the president of Russia. So he is now looking at him as a possible candidate for Secretary of State. And again, he is a businessman, Donald Trump, and he is looking to appoint people that can get things done. The ice needs to be broken between the United States and Russia. The Cold War is over. And these liberal left-wing nuts that want to continue the United States and Russia down a path that continues the Cold War is ridiculous. It's about to be 2017. The Cold War is over. It's been over for years. We won the Cold War. It is now time for us to look at Russia as a possible business investment. They are sitting on a lot of natural resources in Russia. We need to, I believe, end some of these sanctions against them. And I believe that they can also be a very important ally in the fight against terrorism. And personally, dealing with the Chinese the last 10 or 20 years, I don't necessarily trust China as far as being somebody that we deal with more than Russia. I believe that we need to end the coldness between the United States and Russia. We need to end some of those sanctions. And we need to give our relationship with Russia, who I think can be a key ally in fighting ISIS and in fighting Al-Qaeda around the world. We need their military might and we need their military help. Make no mistake about it, the United States can't do it alone, of course, with our closest ally, Britain. But I believe it would be nice to have Russia as an ally in the fight against ISIS and the fight against these other crazy Islamist terrorists. I believe that we need to end our fight with Russia. The Cold War is over. And I also believe Russia could be an important trade partner and an important business partner, because I believe that the euro is coming to an end. I believe the European Union is coming to an end. And I believe that we need to have Russia as an open trade partner. And I hope that Donald Trump He seems to be very fond of Vladimir Putin. Vladimir Putin seems to be very fond of Donald Trump. And I believe that some of that coldness between our two countries will end. And luckily, we will have a different Secretary of State because Hillary Clinton did a horrendous job in dealing with Russia while she was Secretary of State. She did a horrible job. It was supposed to be a reset between our two countries, and she did nothing. And the only thing we did was have more sanctions against Russia. And of course, Russia acted out like anybody would if you were imposing these sanctions against their country, destroying their economy. They attacked their neighbors, which is what most countries would do when they felt like you were threatening the economy of their country. So hopefully all this childishness can end, and we will have a real president that will sit down with a leader of another country, and they will work things out, and they will lift these sanctions. And I believe the United States and Russia can have an entire different relationship when Donald Trump becomes president. I think that that's very important. So to all of you left-wing nuts that are going absolutely crazy, he is going to be our president. He won fair and square. He won 200 counties that Barack Obama carried in 2012. And so these people saw the light and they turned around and they voted for our next president. So you all need to just take a chill pill. All of you left-wing nuts, these liberals need to sit down and just realize he's going to be president. I believe he's going to do a very good job. I think you know he's going to do a very good job. And I think that's what's scaring the bejeebies out of all of these left-wing Democrats, is that if he does well, that's going to set back their socialist agenda for years to come. And if he appoints the right Supreme Court justices, that's going to set back their liberal agenda for decades. So it's very important that Donald Trump is successful, and I believe he will hit the ground running in his first 100 days. Also, he chose as Labor Secretary Andy Putzer, and he will be the Labor Secretary, and he was head of Hardee's Fast Food and Carl Jr.'s. He was the owner of and the head of those fast food corporations, Hardee's and Carl Jr.'s. Andy Putzer, he is going to be the new Labor Secretary. He is against raising minimum wage for those fast food workers. The Democrats, those left-wing nuts, want to raise the minimum wage to $15 to flip a burger, between $15 to have a fast food worker and Obamacare. It is no doubt why a lot of these companies are heading their headquarters and heading their corporations to Mexico and to other countries. That is totally non-competitive. I believe that those are starter jobs, those are beginner jobs, and you should not get paid $15 an hour to make French fries. I think that that's ridiculous. So Andy Putzer is totally against that, and that makes our country and makes those corporations, McDonald's and KFC and Carl Jr.'s and Hardee's, it makes them totally non-competitive in the free market, and that's why they're taking their headquarters and taking their corporations to other countries. Between that and Obamacare, it will bankrupt these businesses. It is absolutely ridiculous. So Donald Trump is going to do a wonderful job as president. We only have a few more weeks to wait for him to become president, and I think in his first 100 days, he will repeal and replace Obamacare. I believe that, there will be certain parts of Obamacare, like leaving children on to their parents' health care plan until they are 26 years old, is something that he might keep. But I think that it is absolutely devastating small businesses. People's premiums are doubling and tripling. It is totally handicapping small businesses from hiring people. And, there's no wonder that the unemployment rate is so high. They're trying to say the unemployment rate is 4.9%. That is absolutely ridiculous. That is not the real, there's so many people that have just totally given up and are out of the market structure and just, have given up looking for jobs. They're not even counted anymore as people that are in the labor market. It is just absolutely ridiculous. And, you have so many people that have just given up looking for jobs. And I think that it is just an absolute joke. So Donald Trump will do a wonderful job as president. And I think he will put people back to work. And I think that if you're not on board, I think he will call you out, and you will look totally unpatriotic when you're doing everything that you possibly can do to stop the American people from being successful, from stopping corporations from hiring, from stopping corporations from staying in the United States of America. Yes, so it is very important that Donald Trump is allowed to be president. I think the first 100 days, he will hit the ground running. I think he will be very successful, and I think he will call out absolutely every institution, whether it be news, whether it be paper, whether it be radio, that does not give him the opportunity to be very successful. I want to thank you for listening to me. Once again, the number to call in, 702-983-0711. Monday through Friday, make sure that is Pacific time, 1 to 1:30. We have so many guests coming on this month, hard-hitting guests, wonderful guests. Please watch Face the Tribune tomorrow. We have an exciting show, 12 to 1 o'clock Pacific time. Que tengo buen día. Thank you for listening to me. God bless America. God bless our troops all over the world. And remember, yesterday was December the 7th, the 75th anniversary of Pearl Harbor. God bless America, and Godspeed to Donald Trump. I will see you tomorrow.